Hello students, I am VLN Swarupni, lecturer in biochemistry from Sri Venkateswara College of Arts and Sciences, which is affiliated to Adikavi Nanaya University, Rajahmundry. Now, I would like to discuss about second BSc fourth semester biochemistry paper, that is intermediary metabolism. So, from this paper, we are seeing about the unit 1 topics and we came to an end to this unit 1. If we discuss about this topic called photosynthesis, we'll come to an end of this unit 1. So let's start this unit 1 last topic, that is photosynthesis. Basically, we all know how important this photosynthesis is for the mankind. Of course, it is one of the important metabolic pathway of chlorophyll containing plants and bacteria, but it is also helpful for mankind also. So here basically green plants, that means chloroplast containing plants, they capture solar energy, that is photo energy, and convert it as chemical energy. That means photo energy or solar energy is being converted into chemical energy, and the process in which this particular conversion of solar energy into chemical energy is being taken place is photosynthesis. So here the chloroplasts of the green plants, they trap the sunlight. So here, as I said, this photosynthesis is only caused in the chlorophyll containing plants and chlorophyll pigment containing bacteria. So here, what is the reason behind this is this chloroplast is capable of trapping sunlight or the photo energy from the light source. Okay, and here, apart from green plants, certain bacteria are called as photosynthetic bacteria, and cyanobacteria also carry this particular photosynthesis. Okay, and actually what happens during this photosynthesis is carbon dioxide and water, they are transformed into simple carbohydrates, and during this process they release oxygen into the atmosphere. So here, during photosynthesis, what happens in the plant cell, whatever the carbon dioxide and water are there, these are transferred into simple carbohydrates which plant will utilize, and during this process what happens is oxygen is liberated, and this oxygen is liberated into the atmosphere which we mankind will utilize. So this is how we can understand this photosynthesis is not only important for plants, and this is also very important for humans also. Okay, and this particular photosynthesis is most important metabolic process that only provides food supply to the heterotrophic organisms. So heterotrophic organisms means which prepare their own food, and these heterotrophic organisms doesn't depend on any other organisms for their nutritional needs. Okay, so this is the basic uh, basic about these are the basics about the photosynthesis. Okay, so here we can simply tell this photosynthesis as oxidation reduction reaction between water and carbon dioxide, and during which oxygen is released, and this oxygen is released from the water molecule. So here carbon dioxide and water molecule, they interact with each other, and also during the reaction one oxygen molecule, that is one O2, is released into the atmosphere from the water molecule. Okay, But in the initial stages, whatever the O2 is released from the photosynthesis is treated as this might be the oxygen molecule might be released from the carbon dioxide. But the scientists Rubin and Kaman, they worked on this particular photosynthesis in the year 1941, and they just uh, explained this oxygen is released from the water molecule. Okay, so whatever the oxygen that is released during this photosynthesis is released from the water molecule. Okay, and this particular photosynthesis is seen under seen in two ways, in the form of light reactions and in the form of dark reactions. In the light reactions, the major reaction or major mechanism is photophosphorylation, and this is in cyclic manner. Cyclic for phosphorylation is seen, and also non-cyclic phosphorylation is also seen. So we have dark reactions in our syllabus, and here dark reactions are the second these are seen in the second phase of photosynthesis, and involves the reduction of carbon dioxide, for which light is not required. So by the name itself we can understand this is a dark reaction, and which is carried during dark with the dark light, and this doesn't require any light source. Okay, and first time this particular dark reactions were described and discovered by Blackman. So the scientist Blackman, wait, the color is not nice. Blackman is a scientist who discovered this particular dark reactions of photosynthesis, and the reducing power, that is ATP or NADH produced in the light reaction, these are utilized to reduce carbon dioxide. So here the ATP and NADPH, ATP and NADPH, these are utilized to reduce carbon dioxide. So here in this particular dark phase we have two kinds of cycles, that is C3 cycle and C4 cycle. Okay, so let's see C3 cycle. So now let's see about this C3 cycle. So this particular C3 cycle in which these plants in which CO2 is initially fixed as 3-phosphoglyceric acid, and the plants which carry this C3 cycle are called as C3 plants. Okay, plants in which CO2 is initially fixed as 3-phosphoglyceric acid are known as C3 plants. So during this C3 cycle what happens? C2 is fixed in the form of 3-phosphoglyceric acid. So CO2 is so in this C3 cycle, reduction of carbon dioxide or reduction of CO2 is initially seen in the form of 3-phosphoglyceric acid. And here this Kelvin cycle occurs in the stroma of the chloroplast. So here basically this photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplast. If you see the basic structure of this chloroplast, so it contains a envelope, a stroma, and in which we can see stack of thylakoids. Okay, so basically in the stroma section, this particular C3 cycle is occurring. And here this particular C3 cycle is first time explained by Melvin Kelvin. This is the scientist. Melvin Kelvin is the scientist to explain this particular C3 cycle. And we can also call the C3 cycle as Kelvin cycle. That's why we also call this particular cycle as Kelvin cycle. Okay. And now let's see what are the phases in this particular Kelvin cycle or C3 cycle. This particular Kelvin cycle is seen in three phases, that is carboxylation is the first phase, second phase is the reduction, and third phase is the regeneration. So what are they? Carboxylation, reduction and regeneration. These are the three phases in which this particular C3 cycle, in which we can see this C3 cycle. Okay, and the first one is carboxylation. So the first one is carboxylation. So in this carboxylation, what happens? Let's see. So here the molecule of ribulose bisphosphate is carboxylated by CO2 of the atmosphere on unstable, which is an unstable 6 carbon compound is formed, which splits into two molecules of 3-phosphoglyceric acid. So in this particular C3 cycle, what is the first step? Here ribulose 5-phosphate, ribulose 5-phosphate, it is carboxylated, by CO2. This is carboxylated by CO2. So what is that product? Ribulose bisphosphate. This ribulose bisphosphate is carboxylated by CO2, and what happens? Then unstable 6 carbon compound will be produced. Unstable 6 carbon compound will be produced. Okay. So here the unstable 6 carbon compound is ribulose 1,5 bisphosphate. So ribulose 5-phosphate is converted into an unstable ribulose by 1,5 bisphosphate by the action of carbon dioxide. Okay, and again this is converted into 3-phosphoglyceric acid. This is converted into 3-phosphoglyceric acid. And here if you see ribulose 1,6 bisphosphate is an 6 carbon compound, and here this 6 carbon compound is split into 3 carbon compound, 2 molecules of 3 carbon compound, that is 3-phosphoglyceric acid. So here initially ribulose 5-phosphate is converted into ribulose 1,6 bisphosphate, and this 1,6 bisphosphate is cleaved to two products of 3-phosphoglyceric acid. 3-phosphoglyceric acid. So this is the major reaction. Okay, so if you see the enzymes here, this particular ribulose 5 bisphosphate 1,6 bisphosphate, this is converted into 3-phosphoglyceric acid. This is converted into 3-phosphoglyceric acid, and here the enzyme responsible for this particular product is Rubisco. Simply we call it as Rubisco. That is nothing but the ribulose bisphosphate carboxylase oxygenase. Ribulose bisphosphate carboxylase oxygenase, and this is simply called as ribisco. Okay, so this ribisco is converting this particular ribulose 1,6 bisphosphate into 2 molecules of 3 phosphoglyceric acid, or we can also call it as phosphoglyceric acid simply. So this reaction is a carboxylation reaction. This is a carboxylation reaction. Okay, so here what happened? Ribulose 1,6 bisphosphate is converted into 2 molecules of 3-phosphoglyceric acid by the action of ribisco, that is a ribulose bisphosphocarboxylase oxygenase, and this catalyzes the insertion of CO2 and stimulate cleavage of ribulose bisphosphate into 2 molecules of PGA, that is phosphoglyceric acid. Okay, so this is the carboxylation reaction. Now let's see the reduction. So second step is the reduction. So here what happens means, so this 3-phosphoglyceric acid is converted into 1,3-phosphoglyceric acid, 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid. Here the phosphoglyceric acid, this gets phosphorylated with the help of ATP. This is phosphorylated with the help of ATP, and the enzyme phosphoglycerokinase is used. The enzyme phosphoglycerokinase is used, and it uses ATP to get phosphorylated. So here nothing but 3-phosphoglyceric acid, and it is being converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid. That means already this phosphoglyceric acid contains one phosphate group, and again this will be added with one more phosphate, so it becomes 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid. Okay, and next, during this reduction what happens is, this particular 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid is reduced to 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde, that is 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde. So this is catalyzed by the enzyme triose phosphate dehydrogenase, triose phosphate dehydrogenase. Okay, and with this we came to an end to this particular reduction phase. During this reduction phase what happened? This 3-phosphoglyceric acid is reduced to 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde, and this 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde PGA, this is converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglyceraldehyde by the action of phosphoglycerokinase, and 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid is converted into here next phase, that is regeneration phase. Okay, and here let's see the regeneration phase. So here phosphoglyceric acid are converted into G3P, that is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So here this particular reaction of carboxylation and also reduction will carry to produce 6 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. Okay, so here now let's see what happens step by step. So G3P is interconverted to G3P is interconverted into DHAP, that is dihydroxy acetone phosphate, and it is also a triose phosphate. Triose means that is 3 carbon compound. DHAP is also a 3 carbon compound similar to this glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate. And here this isomerization is catalyzed by the enzyme triose phosphate isomerase. Triose phosphate isomerase. And here one molecule of G3P, and one molecule of DHAP condenses forming a molecule of fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. So here G3P donates the 3 carbon moiety and DHAP donates the 3 carbon moiety, finally producing fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. So here we have 6 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate, and here one glyceraldehyde molecule will combine with DHAP to form 6 carbon fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. So here one G3P is utilized and another G3P is converted into DHAP, and this DHAP is again combined with G3P. So let me write the structure for you, reaction for you. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 G3P molecules, and here one G3P molecule and another G3P molecule. Let's take 2 G3P molecules here. So whatever the first G3P, it is converted into DHAP, and this DHAP will combine with the another G3P molecule to form fructose 1,6 bisphosphate. Hope you got understood. So here this conversion of G3P into DHAP is carried by triose isomerase, triose phosphate isomerase, triose phosphate isomerase, triose phosphate isomerase. Okay, and this DHAP and G3P reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme aldolase. Okay, so finally we have got fructose 1,6 bisphosphate here. Fructose 1,6 bisphosphate here. Okay, so how many G3P molecules were utilized till now? 2 G3P molecules were utilized. Okay, so we have fructose 1,6 bisphosphate now. Okay, this fructose 1,6 bisphosphate is converted into fructose 6 phosphate. So fructose 1,6 bisphosphate is there, and this is converted into fructose 6 phosphate, and here the enzyme is, phosphatase. Here the enzyme is phosphatase, and here the enzyme is phosphatase. Okay, phosphatase. Okay, so this is how fructose 6 phosphate is produced by this particular G3P, 2 molecules of G3P and 1 DHA. That means here only 2 G3P molecules were utilized for the production of this fructose 6 phosphate. So this is utilization of 2 G3P molecules. Okay, so now what happens is this fructose 6 phosphate will combine with another G3P molecule. So here we have seen the utilization of fourth and fifth G3P molecules for the production of this fructose 6 phosphate. So this fructose 6 phosphate will combine with the third G3P molecule, with the third G3P molecule. Okay. Um, and here the enzyme is transketolase. Enzyme is transketolase. Transketolase. Here the enzyme is transketolase. So this transketolase, by reacting with uh, G3P and fructose 6 phosphate, what happens means finally xylulose 5 phosphate and erythrose 4 phosphate will be produced. So here G3P means 3 carbons, fructose 6 phosphate means 6 carbons, total 10 carbons. Okay, so from these 10 carbons, what we got? Erythrose 4 phosphate and xylulose 5 phosphate we got. So we got erythrose 4 phosphate and xylulose 5 phosphate. Okay, so we have got this erythrose 4 phosphate and xylulose 5 phosphate, and by this we have this erythrose 5 phosphate and xylulose 5 phosphate. And again later what happens is, one molecule of erythrose 4 phosphate will combine with one molecule of DHAP. So again let's start with erythrose erythrose 4 phosphate, and the other compound we have is xylulose 5 phosphate. Now we are seeing it with about this particular erythrose 4 phosphate, and this erythrose 4 phosphate will combine with DHAP, and obviously this DHAP is again from another G3P molecule, that is second G3P molecule. Okay, so again now this erythrose 4 phosphate and DHAP, 4 plus 3 8 carbon compound, and it will result in the formation of 1,7 pseudoheptulose 1,7 bisphosphate. This will help in the formation of 1,7 pseudoheptulose 1,7 bisphosphate, and the enzyme is transaldolase. Enzyme is transaldolase. Okay, now what happens is, this pseudoheptulose 1,7 bisphosphate will lose one phosphate, and it is converted into pseudoheptulose. It is converted into pseudoheptulose 7 phosphate. It is converted into pseudoheptulose 7 phosphate by the enzyme phosphatase. See students, I am telling very slowly so that you will not get confused with each and every reaction. We know C3 cycle is a very complex cycle, so don't get confused. That's why I am telling very slowly. Okay, so till now how many G3P molecules were utilized? That means glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate molecules, 4 glycerol molecules were utilized. So 2 were for the production of fructose 6 phosphate, and this fructose 6 phosphate combines with another G3P, and this G3P and fructose 6 phosphate result in the formation of erythrose 4 phosphate and xylulose 5 phosphate, and later another G3P molecule is converted into DHAP, the fourth G3P, and this DHAP will combine with erythrose 4 phosphate to form pseudoheptulose 1,7 bisphosphate, and this pseudoheptulose 1,7 bisphosphate is converted into pseudoheptulose 7 phosphate. So till that reaction we discussed about this particular C3 cycle. So now we have pseudoheptulose 7 phosphate. Okay, so now see carefully what happens. So here the pseudoheptulose 7 phosphate, let's write from this pseudoheptulose 7 phosphate we have. Again the pseudoheptulose 7 phosphate will react with 1 G3P, wait, 1 G3P molecule. Actually this will be like this, and okay, 1 G3P molecule will be reacted with this pseudoheptulose 7 phosphate. And what happens means, see here G3P 3 carbons and pseudoheptulose 7 carbons. Totally we have 10 carbons. So at the end of this reaction, ribose 5 phosphate is produced. Ribose 5 phosphate is produced along with another xylulose 5 phosphate. That means here xylulose 5 phosphate and the other compound is ribose 5 phosphate. Xylulose 5 phosphate and ribose 5 phosphate. So these two compounds were produced, and this reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme transketolase, let me change the color, please, transketolase. Okay, transketolase will be helpful in the production of this ribose 5 phosphate and xylulose 5 phosphate by the combination of glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate and pseudoheptulose 7 phosphate. If you observe this, here we have another xylulose 5 phosphate. If you just remember, here the combination of G3P and fructose 6 phosphate resulted in the formation of erythrose 4 phosphate and xylulose 5 phosphate. So we have that xylulose 5 phosphate and this xylulose 5 phosphate. Okay, now what happens is xylulose 5 phosphate is converted into ribulose 5 phosphate in the presence of enzyme epimerase. Wait, let me change the color. So this is converted into ribose 5 phosphate. What is it? Sorry, ribulose 5 phosphate. Okay, and here the enzyme is epimerase, and the enzyme is epimerase. And later whatever the ribose 5 phosphate is also present in this reaction, that means this one, this is also converted into ribulose 5 phosphate by the enzyme isomerase pentose phosphate isomerase. Okay, so finally all products were converted into ribulose 5-phosphate, which is the initial product of this particular C3 cycle. Okay, again this particular ribulose 5-phosphate, ribulose 5-phosphate is converted into ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate, and this is converted into 3-PGA and to 1,3-PGA. Okay, and this to 3-PGA, and this will form 6G3P molecule, 6 molecules of G3P. So again this cycle will carry. So first phase is carboxylation, second phase is reduction, and the third phase is regeneration. That means all compounds, they undergone regeneration process. So this is the C3 cycle. So this is the C3 cycle. So overall reaction is 6 CO2 plus 18 ATP plus 12 NADPH gives rise to fructose 6 phosphate plus 18 ADP plus 18 PI plus 12 NADP. Okay, so let me show you the structure. So now let's see in the cycle what happened. So the initial product is ribulose 5-phosphate is converted into, this is converted into ribulose 1,5-bisphosphate by the enzyme ribulose phosphate kinase. ATP is utilized during this reaction, and in the second step we have got 3-PGA, 3-phosphoglyceric acid. Okay, and the enzyme is Rubisco. Here the enzyme is Rubisco. Okay, so just if you remember what is Rubisco, just mention it in the comment box. Okay, here this 3-PGA is converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid by the enzyme phosphoglycerokinase. And later 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate is converted into 3-phosphoglyceraldehyde by the enzyme triose phosphate dehydrogenase, and this 3-phosphoglycerate is converted into, this is a sequence reaction, and 6 molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate will be produced. First, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. During the reaction, during the process, we have just discussed about 5 G3P molecules, whereas the 6th G3P molecule is converted to form glucose in the cytosol, and this glucose will enter the glycolysis cycle. Okay, so and this, that means this will undergo reverse cell reaction of glycolysis to form glucose, and this will enter glycolysis. Okay, so here if you see this, first G3P is converted into DHAP, and this will combine with another G3P molecule to form fructose 1,6-bisphosphate by the enzyme aldolase, and this fructose 1,6-bisphosphate is converted into fructose 6-phosphate by the enzyme phosphatase fructose 1,6-bisphosphatase enzyme. Okay, and now what happened? Why it's not okay, let's see. So another G3P molecule, it will combine with fructose 6-phosphate, and it will form erythrose 4-phosphate, and this is xylulose 5-phosphate. Okay, now what will happen? These erythrose 4-phosphate again combines with another DHAP molecule which is produced from G3P molecule, and it will form again pseudoheptylose 1,7-bisphosphate is formed by the enzyme transaldolase. Okay, and this pseudoheptylose 1,7-bisphosphate phosphate is converted into pseudoheptylose 1,7 phosphate by the enzyme phosphatase. Okay, and again what happens, this particular pseudoheptylose 7 phosphate is combined with another G3P molecule to form xylulose 5 phosphate, xylulose 5 phosphate and ribose 5 phosphate, and this xylulose 5 phosphate is converted into ribulose 5 phosphate, and ribose 5 phosphate is also converted into ribulose 5 phosphate, and during the conversion of ribose 5 phosphate to ribulose 5 phosphate, it is isomerase enzyme helping, and xylulose 5 phosphate conversion into ribulose 5 phosphate is the enzyme epimerase. Okay, and again the cycle will continue from ribulose 5 phosphate to ribulose 1,5 bisphosphate and so on. So this is how C3 cycle will be carried. So this is for this class. If you have any doubts, please contact me. Please note this everything carefully. Thank you, students.